Craig Smith is the founder and CEO of lead internet optimization agency Trinity. Trinity is a 4-time Inc. 5000 company and is one of the 10 fastest growing companies in Philadelphia. It is now my pleasure to turn this over to Greg and Craig.
Thank you very much, Ryan. It's a pleasure to be here, and I'm going to actually share my screen now so you guys can all check out the presentation. Hopefully you see it okay. Ryan, do you see it okay?
I see it okay.
All right, awesome. Okay, so thank you everybody for taking part today. As discussed, my name is Craig Smith. I'm the founder and CEO of Trinity, and with me is Greg Belbeck, who leads enterprise sales at BigCommerce. And today we're going to talk to you about 15 ways to optimize, tested tactics to drive growth in 2020 and beyond. It's essentially a collection of strategies and ideas that both BigCommerce and Trinity have embraced and leveraged to drive growth for our customers that we thought would be very helpful for you to digest and understand, complete with data, to make sure you get some value immediately out of the gate at the conference. So Greg and Craig and I are going to give a quick introduction of our companies real fast before we get started. This will be very brief, but Greg, why don't you start talking about BigCommerce?
Perfect. Yeah, thank you, Craig. So really regarding BigCommerce, it's worth noting we were established back in 2009. BigCommerce is growing to become a global SaaS e-commerce leader. We now actually power over 60,000 merchants across the globe, and importantly serve merchants at all different stages of growth and across all industry verticals. BigCommerce is actually uniquely positioned as what we call an open SaaS platform. In a nutshell, open SaaS really marries together the best of both worlds between SaaS and open source. This continued philosophy and really platform architecture allows us to power some of the largest brands in the world by enabling them to unlock incredible agility as well as unrivaled scalability as our merchants continue to grow and scale on our platform.
Thank you, Greg. And Trinity is a partner of BigCommerce and has been for a few years now. And what we love about the system is, like Greg said, the flexibility, the extensibility, obviously the ability of the platform to scale with a merchant. What Trinity does in a nutshell, as was mentioned by Ryan earlier, we're an agency that specializes in growing e-commerce businesses. We've been around since 2006 and essentially provide the human capital and execution to help really do two things. Number one, drive traffic. Number two, to increase your conversion rate. We have a variety of services, with the most prominent ones shown here, really working with customers in the area of SEO, email marketing, UX design development, which entails a lot of system integration work and redesigns, and then lastly, conversion optimization, which is the testing and targeting of web presentations in order to improve efficiency and revenue. All right, so as far as it goes for me and Greg, our goal for today is that you leave here with a plan of attack. When we're starting this presentation, we wanted to make sure it was very tactical, very educational in nature. This is no fluff here. These are distinct tactics that you can embrace and leverage within your business quickly. And how we're going to do that, we're going to share methodologies, essentially frameworks that we've executed for Fortune companies, enterprise retailers, and really using the elements of data, research, design, and technology in unison, both within the BigCommerce platform and some things external to it. These are ideas and tested strategies that make sense for any size business. And lastly, each thing that we're outlining today was a tactic that did drive significant incremental revenue. So highly recommend to take notes, but don't feel like you have to take all the notes, because we can send you this presentation conclusion. I'll provide my email address at the end of the deck where you can request it. All right. So Greg, you ready to get started?
I am indeed. Looking forward to it.
All right, awesome. So let's get started with 15 ways to optimize. So the first thing that we're going to talk about today in our 15 ways is optimizing your product page elements. What this means, it's re-engineering your product page in order to reduce friction, answer key questions that the user has, and ultimately increase the progression rate of people who view a product to who make it to the cart. There's a lot of ways you can do this, and Greg will talk in a little bit about BigCommerce and their product page templates and the flexibility of that. But in this example, I wanted to show an example that we did with a customer. You can see what you're seeing here on the left is the control version, on the right is an optimized version. We incorporated into the product page presentation stock data. And we did that through integrating external databases in terms of stock levels. This is just one small example of a slight tweak to a product page that drove very, very dramatic increases. In this case, a 12.12 increase in the add to cart rate, the percentage of people who go from the product page to the cart, and then also an overall lift of 29.69% in overall conversion rate. Again, with a very slight change that was incorporated through making some product page modifications. This can be a myriad of different things you can test and optimize here, but the BigCommerce's template structure will allow you to do these types of changes versus being locked into a code base. But Greg, why don't you talk a little bit about BigCommerce, your flexibility within your templates, and how your system helps with these types of initiatives?
Yeah, happy to. And I think from the BigCommerce side, the great thing around our platform and our solution is we really hand over the keys to the castle to our merchants. Full control over the look, feel of each individual page and enabling you to control that product display page as well. On top of that, worth noting is as far as BigCommerce, we provide powerful native support for over 600 variants of a parent product. That allows for out-of-the-box support for complex products, as well as advanced attributes, which I know is incredibly important across different industry verticals. On top of that as well, and as Craig mentioned, in terms of the powerful system that powers BigCommerce, merchants with more complex needs can also use our powerful API infrastructure. APIs really enable our merchants to pull product data from external solutions and systems with ease. So kind of a quick example of that is looking at the pages on the slide in front of you, where a customer or a merchant has a catalog surpassing over 100,000 SKUs, for example. Using BigCommerce and pulling that data from external sources enables BigCommerce and our merchants to update your SKUs and your product catalog in minutes, whereas on other platforms that would take hours. So it's a great example of how we can pull and manipulate that data from other solutions and present that in a really clean, effective way to your merchants and your customers as they visit your website.
Thank you for that, Greg. And moving on, let's talk about the next tactic. And whoops, sorry about that. The next tactic that we wanted to mention as a way to optimize is cleaning up your scripts for speed and performance. What we frequently see when we talk to customers is that all of their marketing scripts, all of their JS that's on their site is loaded in their code. It slows down your site. It makes your site not looked as favorable in the eyes of Google. You're not getting a great experience because it's slow. You need to look at a lot of your metrics, your time to first byte, and what I'm showing right here, which is a waterfall diagram. And you want to identify the JavaScript within your waterfall diagram that you can relocate and load externally. That's the key thing here. What JavaScript can you load externally that's going to help speed up your site? You can do a lot of this through tag management systems. A lot of marketing tags are able to be loaded via tag management systems. But Greg, talk a little bit about BigCommerce and the way that you guys structure as it relates to scripting and speed and performance.
Absolutely. So as far as BigCommerce, there's two ways we can enable our merchants to really take control of scripts. And that starts with our script manager functionality. We provide a really simple user interface for our merchants to manage their scripts. And that enables them to take control of the structure, control those scripts for really making sure that you're getting optimal speed and performance. And as mentioned, all designed with a really intuitive user interface to enable our merchants to take full control of that as well. As I previously mentioned as well, on top of that, we provide access to our full theme framework for our merchants as well. We're based on non-proprietary coding languages, so HTML, CSS. So again, we really truly believe in handing the keys to the castle to our merchants while still providing those SaaS benefits and advantages.
Mm-hmm. The next topic that we want to talk about, or tactic I should say, is a new strategy that we've seen a lot of traction in with our retail customers called FAQ schema. What FAQ schema is, it's an additional type of micro formatting that allows you to incorporate your frequently asked questions about products, about your categories, about the problems you solve with your offerings, and mark up your pages so you get this type of additional landscape in a Google search listing. You can see the example here I just searched was digital marketing, and this website is actually breaking down these additional questions. It is known that when you have FAQ schema type listings render on a search result, you are going to get a much larger piece of the pie. So in working with our customers, we highly recommend within their publishing strategies, they use FAQ schema to answer the questions that Google is providing or that people ask Google. And you can see that through a variety of keyword research tools. So this strategy is going to unlock placements in quick answer boxes, gain substantial visibility, and really what we're doing is we're taking this type of script, this schema script, FAQ script, and embedding it into BigCommerce on the specific page that you want it to render on. This is all native in BigCommerce, very easy to do, very easy to integrate. Greg, did you have any additional context you wanted to give here regarding schema tags and how they can be integrated into the BigCommerce system?
No, I think you've covered most of it. Like you mentioned, it is a native support for BigCommerce, so the ability to easily adapt and amend that onto your product pages and within your BigCommerce dashboard and ecosystem as well. So native support for FAQ schema, and again, great job of highlighting the importance of that there.
Great. All right, next is personalizing coupons based on clickstream. We've seen a lot of great results when we take these types of overlay modals, timed modals, a modal, an overlay, whatever you want to call it. That's what you're seeing right there. But the effectiveness of those modals rise dramatically when you can incorporate messaging, creative, potentially imagery, discounts that associate to the click path of the user. For example, if I'm looking at black basketball sneakers and I'm navigating through and you notice, or the system notices that I've seen 5 products of this sort, you can use those cues and clues, I should say, to kind of render more effective modals. In this example, this one coupon that we tested out drove 11% increase in conversion rates for sessions for which it rendered. A key takeaway here is all of this can be achieved with either an external system that syncs into BigCommerce, or you can even do this natively in BigCommerce. BigCommerce has an amazing coupon and promotional engine built with APIs, so that enables a merchant to be able to construct this type of experience themselves without even having to use a third-party system. Greg, did you have any additional context you wanted to give on the couponing or promotional engine of BigCommerce at this stage?
Yeah, I think from the BigCommerce side, important to note that we do provide that powerful promotions engine. So we can support over 70 different types of promotions out of the box, and they can be configured all the way through to customer segmentation. So applying that to certain customer groups as they come and purchase through your online store, all the way through to setting time schedules, to having expiry dates assigned to those promotions as well. But as Craig mentioned, on top of that, we do have a range of tech partners, such as Just Uno. So we have an entire application ecosystem, mostly or pretty much most of which are designed for one-click install, and can easily add additional power to the BigCommerce system and extend that functionality. That provides more kind of dynamic, personalized promotions, such as what Craig is showing in front of you here.
All right, continuing on, the next thing we want to talk about is a great way to grow and expand your footprint that, frankly, every brand should be heavily considering, if not executing, which is international. Looking at new markets of how you can extend your assortment into new markets in a way that's not going to provide additional layers of administrative headaches and additional work. Now, to create these new storefronts, you need to streamline your creation of your catalog management and uploading your products into the new domains. And what I wanted to highlight was Skullcandy. This is one of BigCommerce's flagship stores, and you're seeing their Japanese site here. This is their Japanese presentation. And one great quote that Jenny, the director of digital at Skullcandy, outlined was, the efficiency it gave them to upload their products at just one time versus 7 times and be able to manage their catalog for all their international locations through that one interface and in a much more simplistic way than doing them all in separate domains. Greg, talk a little bit about BigCommerce, the efficiencies of international, and how you help your clients and customers leverage international to scale.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think international is something we're incredibly excited about here at BigCommerce. From our side, we know that it is a global e-commerce world, and it's important we provide the functionality to enable our merchants to really tap into that global market as well. Skullcandy is a really great example of how easily BigCommerce can accommodate these needs. So worth noting as far as Skullcandy, they launched 7 international websites, all live within 6 months. All 7 sites have 4 currencies as well as part of that ecosystem, and 3 different languages, all within that 6-month time frame. So, of course, with BigCommerce and Skullcandy, they experienced a huge increase in revenue, 214%, as well as an 82% increase in conversion rate year over year. So that really underscores the power BigCommerce provides and the fantastic job that their agency and their internal team did as well on the build. And I think what you can expect from BigCommerce in supporting international as well, and what we provide to our merchants, is the ability to provide that localized content, current information, and payment options as well. As we know, consumers these days want to feel incredibly personal, and those touches really matter. So providing that localized content, local currency options really help increase conversion rate and also keep your customers happy as well.
Next, we wanted to talk about multi-ship checkout. And this is actually a Trinity customer called the Bruno Brothers that when we first started working with them, and they are on BigCommerce, they did not have the ability to send items in a cart to multiple addresses. Now, if your business has some type of exposure to the gifting market, if you think that your products can be leveraged as gifts, this is a real quick win that can enhance your overall e-commerce business and your revenue. You can see that with the Bruno Brothers, it led to a 23% increase in average order value and a 44% increase in overall revenue. Basically, this was done by revamping their theme. We got them to the stencil theme of BigCommerce, and then again, it allowed for us to incorporate unique delivery addresses at the line item level. And also important was the time of when the shopper wanted to send the products. You know, maybe the one item they want there in the next 2 days, maybe one item they want to send there in the next 2 weeks. So it was very great for us to give our customer and their shoppers the ability to have these additional selections within their ordering process. Greg, did you have any additional context you want to give to multi-ship and what you've seen with brands on the BigCommerce platform?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think from our side, and Craig, you really hit the nail on the head, the theme can be completely customized and manipulated to meet the needs of our merchants, such as the Bruno Brothers. With that as well, we do now have native support for line item or per product shipping to be able to send to multiple shipping addresses as well. We found that to be especially helpful for merchants that are fulfilling bulk orders, such as large corporate gift orders, and enable them to process that with ease and have a theme which really helps drive that conversion rate and make that as simple as possible for your consumers as well.
All right, continuing on, we're gonna maybe pick up the speed a little bit. We got about 10 minutes. The next one I wanted to talk about real quick is if you haven't heard of Google's Core Web Vitals, it's something you need to be aware of. It's an upcoming algorithm change that's happening about 6 months from now in which Google's going to use these elements, loading, interactivity, and visual stability to grade your site from a SEO perspective. So you want to make sure that you're looking at Google Search Console and their new report called Core Web Vitals. It'll tell you what needs improvement, what's working, and what they consider, in this case, you can see the example here, poor. You want to fix these issues. You got 6 months to fix it, but Core Web Vitals is, again, the upcoming algorithm change of Google and something that you want to make sure that you're looking at moving forward. Moving on, also, I think touching upon analysis, this is another key piece with BigCommerce and their native capability to incorporate enhanced e-commerce by Google Analytics. You want to make sure as a strategy you're reviewing your progression data throughout your entire site and fixing the squeaky parts of the wheel. By that I mean it could be your mobile product page, it could be your desktop search result page, it could be your checkout process on both mobile and desktop. it really is very much variable on your site and how people are shopping. And what we do for folks is look at the desktop category, the mobile category, review current KPIs, and then look at low, medium, and high effects to extrapolate what's the revenue impact going to be when we're able to move the needle from 9% to 12% on the product page progression or category progression. This is a really, really important way to understand where you should be optimizing. You don't want to just go with your gut. You want to use this type of granular information that's going to outline the economic benefit for making site template improvements. And again, BigCommerce has that native integration with Google Analytics to give you the capability to do this. Greg, any additional context you want to give on the data side regarding BigCommerce?
No, I think you've really done a great job covering that. I think, data in modern days is incredibly important, making sure that your team have access to really control that and make sure you're always getting the best return on your investment is something BigCommerce really believes in, and something we're going to continue to provide support for our merchants to power as well.
Great. All right, a couple more quick ones. Automations, really, really important. Make sure that you have the right automations that drive revenue via personalized emails. This is just showing a screenshot from the email system that we use to build out this automation that really kind of gave our client a custom ability to create custom emails to their users. You can see in this case, it was an upsell email. Do you wish you had more than 4 nights? It was pulling, again, that inventory data of what the customer has. And it's really about taking your sophistication from this, which is, what most e-commerce brands have, a welcome series, cart abandonment, order confirm, shipping confirm, etc. You want to get to the next level and incorporate more automations, browse abandonment, product recommendations, review requests, up and cross sells, VIP, etc. And then once you have these implemented, you want to get to the next level, which is taking that intelligence and putting segments on them. Is it Facebook traffic, branded traffic, non-branded traffic? Have they been here before? Have they added to cart in the past? All of these additional elements that can be captured in your data layer will trigger more personalized emails and lead to higher conversion rates within the business. Another quick tidbit to consider as one of our 15 ways is reducing your search engine bloat to increase your traffic. Now, each website gets a crawl budget. This is what Google allows in terms of energy to crawl your site. And by making their job easier, you'll get a better use of resources on your site. You'll increase your volume of pages indexed, and most likely your search engine traffic will go up due to that increased penetration. And the metric to really look at is your crawl stats in Google Search Console. Look at the number of pages crawled per day. Is it trending up? Is it trending down? And that's going to give you good clues of where you should focus from a standpoint of crawlability. Greg, talk a little bit about BigCommerce. I know you guys have some great SEO functionality out of the box, relating to URLs, relating to robots files, etc. Can you give a little bit of context there?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's actually something I'm incredibly proud of around the BigCommerce platform as well. We really do provide best-in-class native SEO capabilities, which really helps our merchants to ensure the best return on investment for ad spend and everything that runs alongside that as well. What is also important to recognize as well as part of our open SaaS approach, we enable our merchants to take full control of your URL structure. That may not sound important as I say that out loud, but that gives you the ability to really custom tailor your URL format, which you're not able to achieve on certain platforms. We also give our users access to edit the robot.txt file as well. So again, full control over SEO, making sure you're getting the best return on your investment there.
Yeah, that URL capability is extremely important, creating keyword-rich short URLs that are more effectively rendered by Google. You don't want to have those long URLs with a variety of parameters and other gobbledygook that makes Google's job harder. All right, so going on, next is progressive web apps and headless commerce. I mean, this is a huge, huge area of opportunity for brands. What we wanted to show here is, the normal app installation is you find an app in the App Store, you download it, you accept the permissions, you use it. Progressive web apps are now apps that are essentially accessible via a URL, which makes it so much faster to experience the app and also utilize it on your phone. And I just wanted to show you a quick example of Lancome. I mean, these guys have a great progressive web app, and you can see that on the bottom of that screenshot, you see add Lancome to your home screen. This is lightning fast, this web experience. And if you click add to Lancome to your home screen, what happens is, and you can see on my phone, the Lancome app is now there. It's been added. I never had to go to the App Store to download this, but now if I click on that, I would have a app-like experience that's again generated from a URL, a more rapid way and faster way to deploy web pages and deploy an app. And then I wanted to show an example of Yeti Cycles. This is BigCommerce's latest PWA that they recently launched. It's absolutely beautiful. Highly recommend to look at it. You can kind of see it's a very instantaneous experience in which the user, as they click through the Yeti Cycles presentation, is going to get lightning fast load times with an app feel. Greg, did you want to give any additional flavor to the Yeti Cycles implementation and how you guys approach PWAs?
Yeah, I think from a PWA standpoint, it's important to recognize the infrastructure that enables BigCommerce to power and support PWAs so incredibly well. And that really starts with our approach to being an API-first platform. So we encourage both our merchants and our certified partners like Trinity to really leverage the API infrastructure for creative problem solving. We also provide incredibly comprehensive documentation as well as API technical support as part of your enterprise package and solution with BigCommerce as well. So in terms of APIs, worth noting, we have an industry-leading API capacity, supporting over 400 API calls per second. And again, that enables us to pass that data back and forth between BigCommerce and other third-party solutions or PWA applications, for example.
All right, couple more real quick. The next thing is experimenting with category layouts, your location and the specs within the category pages. You want to make it easier for customers and shoppers to sort and select. In this example, you can see on the left was the previous page. We updated it on the right. This drove nearly a 20% increase to progression rate. And you can do this natively in BigCommerce with their new page builder app. It's all drag and drop based. This is going to give you as a store operator so much more flexibility in creating the custom layout that can increase your progression rate. Greg, refresh your memory. Is Page Builder live yet to the audit to the community, or is this something that's kind of in what's the word I'm looking for, in beta right now?
No, this was actually launched and officially available GA around 2 weeks ago now. So incredibly exciting new feature we've launched into the platform.
Yeah, awesome, and highly recommend if we're looking for an e-commerce platform, demo Page Builder and see how easy it is to create these types of experiences to drive increases to your progression. Couple more quick ones. One is suppressing your navigation in checkout. Have seen this time and time again. If you are rendering your checkout or navigation during your checkout process, please suppress it. This example with skis.com drove a 17% increase to conversion rate from doing this. And this functionality is native in BigCommerce, so you can do this pretty quickly in BigCommerce. That's correct, Greg? This is native in BigCommerce, the suppression capability?
Correct. Yeah, absolutely right. We provide our optimized one-page checkout for really merchants to leverage to make sure they can really optimize that flow and again, make sure you're getting the best conversion rate possible.
Awesome. Okay. And then a couple more. One is using the cloud for SEO purposes. Content delivery networks are enabling brands to deploy SEO changes at scale without having to actually make modifications to your code. This is a very progressive tactic that if you want to test SEO changes or make them externally to your developers, we have an offering called SEO Cloud that enables this using content delivery networks such as Akamai. And then lastly, the final tactic before we sign off here in a minute or two is auto zip lookups. This is, again, a great strategy to deploy where you have your shopper type in their zip code and you pre-populate your city, your state, your country automatically. Greg, this is done in BigCommerce, again, natively with Google Autocomplete. Is that correct?
Correct, absolutely right. So it's included natively and it really makes it easier and faster for your merchants to complete the checkout. Worth noting as well, for existing customers or repeat customers, you can store that customer data in BigCommerce natively to help, again, increase conversion rate moving forward as well.
Great, awesome, thank you for that. All right, so as we wrap up, we hope that was informative and educational, and I'll be sharing my email address in a second if you'd like the presentation, but we wanted to give you a couple limited time offers for attendees of the conference today. With Trinity, if interested, what we're providing is a free e-commerce health assessment. This is a custom checkup deliverable conducted by myself and my analyst team of your e-commerce experience to give you actionable areas to improve. Will be a PDF document presented by myself, completed in 72 hours, an estimated value of $2,500. So you'll get a lot of value of that for free. It's a free e-commerce health assessment. Greg, do you want to give context into your offer that you have outlined there?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're proud to offer the first 3 months of free service on our platform for merchants that have joined today, and also looking at providing a 10% discount on service packages as well. From our side, we would really welcome the opportunity to provide more context and color behind BigCommerce, and we have an incredibly consultative approach with our merchants as well. So we'll help talk to you around your current technology stack, really making sure we can align BigCommerce for the future and get a really good handle on your e-commerce strategy, both today and moving forward as well.
Great. All right. So again, thank you everybody for the time today. Thank you Retail Summits for having us speak. If you would like a direct copy of this presentation, there is my email address. I'd be happy to send it to you. So with that, Ryan, I'll pass it over to you, and I'll stop sharing my screen right now. All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone. Take care.
Thank you, Greg and Craig. At 11:40 a.m., I recommend everyone head over to the networking hall to meet with them. It's a space where we want to hear your thoughts, and I know that they'll want to take some questions from you regarding the topic. Definitely learned a lot during that. Our first panel discussion of the day is a conversation about digital marketing. Our panelists are going to share how their brand stayed relevant before and during COVID-19, along with their strategies to stay relevant after the crisis. I'd like to remind you that you can submit your questions in the Q&A box. We will be collecting the questions and the panelists will answer them during the networking break, right after the panel. Without further ado, it's my privilege to introduce you to your moderator and panelists. Moderating this discussion is Keenan Davis, Senior Director of Marketing at SVS. Your panelists are Alexandra Hasiatis-Tassig, Director of Global Strategy at Timberland, and Casey Seidel, Digital Social Media.